Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be taking a break from all of the decluttering, and I want to go ahead and get my house decorated for summer. I've just been craving this season so much, some sunshine and getting out and doing things, going to the water park, spending more time in the pool, and I feel like it's just going to be a really good season for us to, I don't know, kind of heal, I guess. But something else I want to do today, I've been thinking about this for a little while, is to rearrange my living room. How I have it right now, I feel like it was very cozy for a while, especially for those, you know, winter months. It was a cozy layout, but for summer, I feel like I'm ready to just open the space up a little bit, make it feel more open and airy in here. And lately I've just been feeling like I need a change of scenery in here, you know, something different. So that is what I'm gonna try to do today. I've got a new layout in mind, and I'm really hoping that it works out. And then I also have a new rug I want to get put down, and I'm so excited about that rug because it is so beautiful, and I think it's gonna be the perfect pop of color here in my living room. It's really gonna bring a pop of color, but not anything that's too loud and bright. It's just a very cozy little rug. So I am excited to get that down, and yeah, we're just gonna be cleaning, rearranging, decorating for summer, all the things. So I really hope you guys enjoy today's video. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I would like to move the couch onto that back wall. If I do that, my shelf can stay above the couch. I think that would be great. I might change out the artwork on it though, not today, but in the future. And I'm hoping that will work. If I can put the couch on that wall. The only reason that it might not work is because of the ottomans sticking out too far, because I'm gonna be moving my entryway table from there to in front of the window. And I think that would work out better because you're walking in the door right there, hang up your coat, drop your keys at the entryway table, and then we've got the couch there, and then the TV would be going back over here. And some of y'all might be wondering about my mirror and my sconce lights. I'm gonna be taking all of that down and probably using the mirror somewhere else in my home. I'm not sure yet where. I know I don't want to get rid of it, but it may even be something that I put above the couch. I don't know, we're just gonna play with everything and see what happens. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work out and I'll just put everything back. But the green cabinet will no longer work in here with this new layout. So that will either, I'm not sure if I'm gonna donate that or save it for Ray's bedroom, because we are gonna be doing that in the upcoming months. I don't know, her room is kind of small and I don't want to overcrowd it with big bulky furniture, so I don't know yet. Yeah, couch over there, TV over here in this corner where I had it before, entryway table there. So let's go ahead and get started. So before I get started rearranging, I'm going to go ahead and hang these sheets up. I had picked up some new sheets for my bed at TJ Maxx, just to change things up in there, give it a little refresh in my bedroom. And I was hoping I would get to that today, but the living room ended up taking me pretty good part of the day, and I was just so worn out after moving all of that furniture. I decided to save my bed for the next day. So I'm gonna get these out on the line and get those drying, and I'm gonna go ahead and start rearranging. While I was out this morning, I had to run and get Pom-Pom's medication. She needed some refills, and so while I was out, I stopped at a local coffee shop called Eliano's. If you're an OG here on my channel, you may remember me going to Eliano's a lot way back in the day. And then we got Starbucks, and a lot of times I will go to Starbucks, but every once in a while I do like to go to Eliano's, and my kids actually prefer Eliano's over Starbucks. They like to get the cookies and cream shake, and then Kai gets the turtle, which is like a chocolate caramel drink, and he just gets it without the coffee. Anyways, all that to say, I had a pretty good burst of energy to get all of this furniture moved, and I actually love how my living room came out. I'm very happy that I decided to do this. But while I was moving the TV stand, the bottom left corner popped loose, and I was so afraid that it was about to come crashing down. So I went ahead and took the TV off and all of the stuff that was on it, just so if it did fall, nothing was going to get damaged. So I went ahead and took all of that off. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the couch positioned first. That was gonna be my deciding factor on if this layout was gonna work. So I'm gonna start moving that, get the rug taken up. As for the rug, I think I'm going to wash it. I'll take it to the laundromat and wash it. And I think I'm probably gonna hang on to it because I love the rug itself, but it's a pain to keep clean. It is supposed to be a machine washable rug, but it's only machine washable if you have an industrial washer. So in order for me to wash it, I have to take it to the laundromat. And the new rug I'm going to be putting down is one that I can wash in my washing machine. And it's actually the same size as this one. So I'm really, really excited about that, to be able to have a rug that I can wash here at home. But it just felt so good to do this refresh and rearrange the furniture, have a little bit of change of scenery. I think that's just part of my grieving process right now. I just needed something different, but I love how it came out. Now that I've got everything in place and I can actually see it, I think I'm probably gonna change out that shelf that's hanging above the couch. Number one, it's hanging way too high, I feel like, and I thought maybe changing out the artwork on it, but like I said, it's hanging too high, so I would need to bring it down. And if I'm going to change out the artwork, I'm kind of thinking of something different, like maybe a set of 3 large pictures of some sort, maybe of the kids. I have always wanted to have those pictures printed of them, like the large photos. I think they are so pretty, so maybe that's something I could do. I could have pictures of them hanging above the couch. But I've also been thinking about the mirror and the sconce lights, moving that to over the couch. I didn't get those moved today. I left them where they were. I was just kind of out of time and energy for it. But I am thinking about maybe hanging that above the couch. You guys let me know what you think on that down in the comments below.
Used to call you mine, gave it my best, but I don't need one more try. Baby, I'm all out of hope. Could I find it when I go? Think we're only here to stay alive now. Funny, we ran out of kicks. Now you only make me sick. Think we're only here to stay alive now. 'Cause I know what a waste, what a crime, what a time, and I should go. So I take what I can and I toss it in the car. Drive away down the highway, I can't stay. 'Cause I know that all I know, it's time to go. It's time to go. You can pass the blame, say what you want, you got nothing on me.
So let's go ahead and unbox the new rug. I wanted to make sure that I had all of the furniture where I wanted it before I took this out of the box. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This is a machine washable rug from FlexiSpot, and I'm so grateful to be partnering with them on today's video because I was actually in the market for a machine washable rug. I wanted one that I could keep cleaner a little bit easier than having to take it to the laundromat every time or run my shampooer over it. I just want something I can toss into the washer. The one that I chose is called Royal Indigo. It's the 9x12. And yes, even the large sizes like the 9x12 can go in the washing machine, but I wanted to show y'all the whole setup, and I thought this was going to be more of a workout than what it was, but it was so easy and it took maybe 10 minutes to get it all put together. So with your rug, you'll get a pad and it just goes together like a puzzle. Very straightforward and simple. And I love having a pad under it because it makes it so comfortable to walk on. The kids can sit on it and play. It just gives it a little extra cushion and it keeps the rug from sliding all over the place as well. So in my opinion, it's kind of like a mattress topper, but for your floor. And it also comes with Velcro for the corners to help hold the rug in place. And then for the most exciting part, getting the rug laid out out. I could hardly wait for this. I have been obsessed with the color blue lately. I don't know what it is, but especially my home decor. I love blue anything. And so that's kind of why I was drawn to this rug and why I chose it. And I think it was the perfect choice to add to my living room because I've already got pops of blue in here. So it kind of brings everything together, I feel like. And it's not only pretty, but it's practical in a home with kids and pets, and it really brought a fresh, airy vibe to the space. The edges lay flat, no curling on the corners, no weird lumps. It lays nice and flat, and because I live in a crumb-filled home, I decided to put it to the test and scatter some chips. I ran the vacuum over it, and my vacuum glided right over. It picked up every piece, no snagging, no shifting. So it's vacuum friendly, but then I also wanted to test the washing process. So I poured some juice and I did let it sit for a few minutes to really soak in there. And then I tossed it in the washer, and it's so easy to pick up. The rug is very lightweight. So taking it up and carrying it to the washer, getting it in the washer was very effortless. And I didn't put it in the dryer. I like to hang what I can out to dry in the summer heat, and so I just laid it out on the porch rails, and then I put it back down, and I was so surprised to see the stain was gone and the rug didn't change. There was no shrinking, no wrinkles, no fades. It still looked brand new. And then this part is huge for me because I do have pets and kids. This rug is standard 100 by Okotex, which basically means that it's safe, it's non-toxic, and free of chemicals. So I feel good about letting the kids roll around on it and play. But if you guys are interested in this rug or any other rug from FlexiSpot, because they do have all kinds of colors and sizes, we'll leave a link down below as well as some discount codes for you guys. Thank you to FlexiSpot for partnering with me on today's video. I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up my entryway table, kind of get things in place on there. And I definitely wanted to bring the lamp back to the entryway table. I missed having a lamp on the entryway table. Something else I'm going to be adding to the entryway table is a picture of our t-shirts that my sister had made for us. A lot of y'all had gave me the idea to have it printed and framed. So that's what I'm doing. It's the same design that was on our t-shirts. By the way, I love this little photo printer. I can link it down below for y'all. I've been printing a lot of pictures on it lately. And then the frame that I got for it, I found at TJ Maxx, and I think it's actually the perfect frame for it because it's kind of like a coastal frame, I feel like, and it's a picture of us on the beach, so I felt like it was very fitting for that photo. If you missed where I shared those shirts, my sister had made us awesome t-shirts, and it's got a picture of me and Corey walking on the beach. We're walking down to the water, and the kids are kind of sitting up on the hill watching us, and those are our real footprints. She was able to take from a photo that we got in Hawaii, and she put it into the picture, and it's got a verse at the top that says, "I will see you again and you will rejoice," and then at the bottom it's got a reference to a song that holds a lot of meaning. So I love that picture. And everything else that was on my entryway table before is kind of gonna stay the same. Y'all know I struggle with decorating this thing. I can never get it figured out, so I'm just gonna stick to what I know right now with it. That I am gonna change out the florals that's in this vase that I have. I did have some green hydrangeas in there, and I had tried to get some blue ones, but Walmart did not have any, and I also checked Hobby Lobby, they didn't have any either. So I feel like everybody was just buying up all of the blue hydrangeas. But I did pick up some very pretty stems from Hobby Lobby. I don't really know what they're all called. I'm terrible at flower names, but I just grabbed a few that I thought would look pretty together. And I was kind of going for like picking wildflowers kind of look. I wanted it to look like I just went outside and picked some flowers, and I just added a little American flag to it because we are coming up on the 4th of July, and it was actually Memorial Day weekend when I filmed this as well. So I went ahead and added some American flags around today. And here on the bottom of the entryway table, I have been trying to figure out where I want to put this flag, and I feel like this is the perfect place for it. I did have it on the fireplace mantle, but I really like it here on the entryway table because we've got our family photo there, and then we've also got our beach picture that my sister made, which I just absolutely love. I can't stop looking at it. But I feel like his flag just goes perfect there on the entryway table, so that's where I'm going to keep it for now. And then for my TV stand, I'm just leaving everything pretty much how I had it before. My baskets, they store all of our controllers and cords and things like that. And this little birdhouse I found at the Goodwill recently. It was like $2, I think, and I thought it was so pretty. So I'm just going to put that there with my little bird and my piece of greenery. And then moving on to my couch, I have picked up some blue gingham pillows back at the beginning of spring, and I love those pillows. They are my favorite, but the strings around the edges, I don't know if my kids are pulling them or they're just coming loose, I don't know, but I keep finding strings all over my house. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with those pillows. I do want to save them, and I might try to get some covers for them, maybe some blue gingham covers. That way I don't have to deal with the tassels around the edges, all that fringe that keeps coming out. But in the meantime, I did come across these pillows while I was in TJ Maxx, and I absolutely love them. I think they're so pretty. So I'm going to replace the gingham pillows with these. That way I don't have to deal with that fringe anymore. Then the beige pillows that I have on my couch already, those pillows are actually inserts that I got from IKEA years ago, and I just bought the covers off Amazon. That's the way I prefer to do my pillows, is I'll buy inserts and then just change out the covers, and then you don't have to worry about storing a bunch of pillows. But if I see pillows that I like, I will go ahead and pick them up, which was the case with the new blue ones that I got. But moving on to my coffee table. So what I'm doing right now is kind of the same idea of what I was doing on my entryway table. I was kind of going for that wildflower look, but I do end up changing this at the end. I just wasn't loving it. I felt like with the ones on the entryway table and these on the coffee table, it was a little bit too much for the same room, and also it was a little bit too loud, I felt like, for the coffee table. So I do change that out to something simpler later. I'll put all of that at the end of the video so you guys can see how everything turns out. But I'm just gonna wipe down my coffee table really quick. I need to wipe down the TV. It had lots of little splatters on it, and so I really had to scrub that. But my living room is complete, and I absolutely love this layout. It really opened my living room up, which is exactly what I wanted. It feels light and airy and fresh and not so closed in, so I really like how this came out. I've always enjoyed rearranging furniture because it's a way to refresh your space without really having to spend any money. I did pick up a few new decor pieces, but I also like using things that I already have, putting them in different places. You can really make your space feel new again without having to spend a fortune. Just simply rearranging your furniture can be all the refresh that you need. Also been thinking about rearranging my bedroom as well. I've been kind of craving a little bit of a refresh in there, just a change of scenery, kind of like how I did here in the living room. But in there, the furniture is a little bit tricky, so I'm still trying to decide if I want to rearrange, and if I did, how I would put everything. But the last thing I'm going to do here in the living room, so how we had the couch before, this was the ottoman that was right in front of the front door, and Ellie would always come in and she would just crash right here in front of the ottoman, and she kept the front of this thing dirty. So I'm just taking my little green machine. I'm going to shampoo that really quick and get that brightened back up, and that will pretty much be all for today. We're going to flip to the next day and we'll be getting the new sheets on my bed. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get these sheets put on. Like I said, I found these at TJ Maxx this year, and they are a very pretty white and light blue, kind of like a baby blue color. and I just thought they were perfect for my bed because I've already got light blue and white throw pillows for my bed, and I thought it would just match perfectly. And they are also the softest sheets I have ever felt. They are very light and perfect for summer and just buttery soft and smooth. But while we're in my bedroom, and you guys can kind of see a little bit of the layout, if you've been here, then you kind of know the layout of my bedroom, how I've got things. But for rearranging, I was thinking maybe taking my bed and putting it on the wall where my vanity's at. So over on that wall where my mirror is at, put the bed there, and then I would take the little green dresser and put it in between the windows here. That would work, but this is where I'm kind of hung up a little bit, is the TV. I'm not sure where I would put that, because if you're in bed watching TV, it would make sense to have the TV at the foot of the bed where I have it now. And if I put my bed on that other wall, then there's really nowhere for the TV to go because my closets are on the opposite wall. So I would either have to mount the TV or have it off to the side of the bed. So if you guys have any ideas or suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. I have been thinking really, really heavy about this. So this tree that's right outside my bedroom window has always been one of my favorites, and I've never known what it was called until recently when I looked it up. It's called a mimosa tree, and I think I love it because the branches come out, they kind of open like an umbrella. It's a really good shade tree actually, and then it's got little pink pom-poms on it that bloom kind of early summer, and I think they're so pretty. But while I was looking up this tree, I learned some other interesting things that I thought I would share with you guys. It says that in some cultures, it's seen as a symbol of resilience since it can thrive in poor soil and harsh conditions. It's often associated with joy, sensitivity, and renewal. And it's got delicate fern-like leaves that fold up at night or when touched. I did not know that. And another name for it is called a silk tree. So I thought that was interesting. I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's always been one of my favorite things to look at whenever I look out my bedroom window, especially in the summer when it's in full bloom. I think those little pink pom-poms on it are so beautiful. In one of my latest videos, I was sharing how I make my iced coffee at home, and I like to use instant coffee for that. And some of y'all were telling me to try this Nescafe Gold, and I am hooked. It is so much better than the kind that I was getting before. That one was a little grainy, and I thought they were all like that until I tried this one. It's like a powder consistency, and the taste is so much better. So I'm just making my coffee really quick. I just do a couple spoonfuls of the instant coffee, add a little bit of water to it, blend it up. I'll add my milk and my creamer. And that is pretty much how I've been making my iced coffee for a while now here at home. A lot cheaper than getting the jugs of pre-made coffee that's already done, like the cold brew. I just prefer to do the instant coffee, and I get a lot more coffees out of that. So anyways, I'm about to start decorating here in my kitchen for summer, and I also have got to get my shelf hung back up that has fallen, and meaning to fix that, but the anchors that I needed for it were out in my shed, and I had to do a little bit of digging to get to those. My shed also has got to be cleaned out, so I'm just kind of chipping away at everything little by little. But I got those anchors out, so I'll be able to fix my shelf today. I want to get those decorated. Cleaner that I'm using smells so good. It's a countertop spray by Caldrea. It's in the scent Sea Salt Neroli, and I just have a little bit left in my bottle. I was gonna finish that up, but while I'm decorating here in the kitchen, I thought I would give you guys an update on how we're all doing. I have had some of y'all ask. So to sum it up, we're all doing okay. We have more good days than we do bad days. But I definitely have my moments. It seems to be the hardest whenever I lay down at night. During the day, I can stay busy. I've got so much to keep me busy. There's just so much that has to be done around the house, things to do, homeschool, cooking, cleaning, making my YouTube videos. And so I pretty well stay busy during the day, but whenever I lay down at night, that's kind of when it gets hard. And then as for the kids, they all seem to be doing pretty good. The boys will spend a lot of time with Corey's things, and they will play, the video games that he loved to play. I find them playing those a lot, and that's just their way of, feeling close to him. But they do start therapy very soon, and I think that's going to be very helpful for them, just to kind of have a safe place to get all of that out. They have been through a lot for their age, and so I feel like therapy is going to be really good for them. We have also been going to church on Sunday. We are now about 3 Sundays in a row going to church, and I think that's been good for all of us to, just be around other people and hear the word of God. I just try to keep his memory alive the best that I can. That's why I keep pictures up in our living room. We've got pictures on our fridge. I have one in my bedroom, and I'm also working on getting some pictures printed out for their bedrooms as well. And to me, we talk about him like he's still living on, because he is, and we're going to see him in our next life. This life does not end here on earth, and this is just a passing place. And there's a lot of times the pain just feels so unbearable. It feels like the ache in my chest is never going to go away. I've never been through something like this, but from what I have heard is that the pain never really goes away. You just kind of learn to live with it, and that's definitely what I've been experiencing. The pain is still there, but I'm learning to live with it. But there's also this part of me that feels a little bit of relief for him after you watch somebody go through something like that and endure what he endured. Just the amount of suffering. Part of me can't help but feel a little bit of relief. He was so sick of needles and doctors and hospitals, and to know that he will never have to walk into another hospital, he will never be stuck by another needle. I feel a sense of relief for him. But while I have that relief, there's also this immense amount of heartache. And so it's kind of a bittersweet feeling, but overall we are all doing okay. We are just continuing to take it day by day and do what we feel is right. If we're having a day where I feel like we need to get out of the house, then we definitely do that. We'll just take off and go, even if we just go to Walmart or something, just to get out of the house can be helpful for us. There can be some days where the walls just feel like they're closing in, but every day seems to get a little bit better. So I'm very, very thankful for that. And also I just want to thank you guys again for everybody who has asked me how we're doing, everybody that has continued to pray for me and my kids and for Corey's family. It all means a lot. So I've not really had a whole lot of time to go thrifting lately, but the other day while we were in town, I did pop into the Goodwill for a minute just to see what they had, and I found that paper towel holder, and I also found those little copper mugs. I thought those were so cute, and I was glad to finally have something for our paper towels because they kind of just float around the kitchen. They don't have a home, so now they actually have a home. And here next to my sink, I keep this riser and my diffuser, and I also keep my little phyllo plant on it. So I'm going to put that back as well as my diffuser, and then I'm going to put out a little fun hand soap. I have a couple of bottles that I keep dish soap and hand soap in, but I'm going to store those away under my sink and just set this one out just to have something a little different, a little fun. And also in my diffuser today, I'm going to diffuse coconut. I figured that would be a fun smell for the summer. I like to get my essential oils from Simply Earth, but this one is also a good one. I'll leave it linked down below. I could not find the coconut scent in the Simply Earth oils, so that's why I ordered this one, but I will leave it linked down below for you guys. It's kind of weird because it's not what you would think it smells like coconut. It actually has like a coffee smell to it. Excuse those dishes in the sink, real life decorating. The dishes are just never ending around here. So for this counter, I'm taking everything off, and when I put things back, I wanted to just kind of put things back in a different way, style it a little bit different just to give it a new fresh feel. And I was just playing with this little arrangement here. I just couldn't figure out how I wanted it, and I wanted to leave this in so you can kind of see the process of how I decorate. I just keep moving things until I finally feel happy with it. I don't like for my counters to be completely bare in my kitchen. I like to have a little bit of something on my counters just to give it that cozy, homey feel, but I don't want to clutter them up too much either because I don't have a ton of counter space. So I was kind of just playing with things and trying to figure out a way to achieve that. I wanted it to look decorated and cozy and homey, but I didn't want them to be too cluttered either. And I also like to keep things practical and decorate with things that I actually will use. So for instance, like my cutting board, I was using that to hide the outlet on the wall, but I also grab for that cutting board a lot. So it makes sense to decorate with that cutting board there because I would use it. And I actually use all of my cutting boards. All of the ones that I have up on my wall, I use them all the time. I like when things actually have a purpose and they're not just sitting there collecting dust. It makes the home feel a little more lived in and intentional. The only thing that I don't like to get used in my kitchen are my decorative hand towels. I keep a hand towel on my counter for like wiping your hands, but then I also like to put my decorative hand towels on my stove handle. I've got these pretty lemon ones that Corey's sister actually made for me. So I'm going to hang those on my stove, and these are just for decoration. And then I keep an actual towel that we can use up on my counter. Up here on my counter in this little basket, I'm putting some fresh eggs that we got from a friend. We don't always have fresh eggs, but for the time being, I'm just going to keep them in this little basket up here on my counter, and I think they look so cute. Sitting here next to my little lamp, it just looks like a little cozy moment. But let's go ahead and fix this shelf. So like I said, I had to go out to my shed, get the anchors. I had to do a little bit of digging for those, and I finally found them. So now my shelf is going to stay in place, and I'm able to put everything back up there. And I wanted to do a little bit of decorating on those. Love having these open shelves in my kitchen, but I do also try to keep it functional as well. So I've got my cookbooks. I like to keep my canisters up there. And I also recently found this little basket at the Goodwill. It is a little bit worn out looking, but personally, I like that. I like that it has a little bit of a worn look to it. Gives it kind of that rustic feel. So in there, I'm just gonna put a little blue and white hand towel and some baby's breath flowers. Kind of looks like I just went out and picked some flowers. And I'm gonna set that up there on the top shelf. Then that picture that's up there, that is from Hobby Lobby. The copper plate is from the Goodwill. And that little tea kettle I found at a local antique shop. The little milk vase is from one of my good friends. She's actually a subscriber. Her name is Sandy. She gave that to me. And I'm switching the cutting board out that I had over on my counter. I'm gonna move that over here. I just filled the empty gaps with some white dishes from my cabinet that I have in the dining room. And I think it all turned out super cute. That little tiny white vase that's got the pink rim, Corey actually got that for me. He went to a convention a few months back and he brought that back for me. So I just keep that sitting there. Finish up in here by vacuuming the floors. I'm using my Dreamy wet dry vacuum. I love that it vacuums and mops all in one, so I don't have to go over my floors twice. But I'm just gonna go over those really quick and then put down some new rugs. I got a set of 2 from TJ Maxx. They've got a little bit of that baby blue, but then they've also got a tiny hint of yellow. And for summer, I like to decorate with the blues and the yellows, so I thought these were so pretty. But I'm gonna get those down. I'm gonna put one in front of my fridge, one in front of my kitchen sink, and that will pretty much complete today's video. I will include some clips at the end of how everything turned out, so stay tuned for all of those clips. But I really hope y'all enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you got some inspiration out of it and some motivation. Remember to leave a butterfly in the comments before you go, and I'll see you in the next one.
It gets me almost every time in the midst of summer, watching it in full bloom. Always makes me wonder when we were just kids, bare feet on warm asphalt. We held our dreams within our hands. It happens every time, I wonder how. I can see my life so clearly now. Dared ourselves away from